to the AI. And I thought that was good insurance policy. But it kind of, it touches on this anxiety.
They're very wise.
Yeah, in that maybe. Across the world, we're seeing these different attitudes towards AI. In countries like India, where we are, there's enormous optimism and trust. And then actually in Western countries, we're seeing that anxiety is still the kind of dominant feeling towards AI. Now, I think closing that confidence gap is as much a policy task as it is a technical one. But I'd love to just get your thoughts. I mean, obviously you are at a B2C company dealing with billions of consumers every day. How do you think about this trust question? How do we get trust up in places where it is not, for something that you believe, I believe, and everyone in this room probably believes can do untold good?
I think you touched on India. India has recognized that technology leadership exactly does not depend on just inventing the technology. It's about how effectively you deploy it. And they here are focused on mass, broad adoption, and obviously supported by a few critical attributes. You have a very AI deep talent pool. Here, you talked about the rails for distribution. Obviously, the digital public infrastructure here are the ID, UPI, the payments infrastructure, and then most recently, the Ayushman Bharat health accounts provide these infrastructure rails to distribute apps to over 1 billion people, and they also have a population that's supportive of it. And I think focusing on that has allowed India to position itself as a leader by pursuing the deployment and adoption strategy. But thinking about that, what are those critical attributes that government has to get right? If we want to turn your aspiration into a reality about agentic government, about delivering for our citizens, I think government does need to think about things differently. It needs to build the architecture around deployment and diffusion, whether it's skills, whether it's compute, whether it's regulation, but crucially probably also data, which is something that you know better than most. So maybe if we start there and then broaden it out, if I'm sitting as a government leader, as many people in the audience are, and trying to figure out what do I need to get right, what are the building blocks to deliver this thing properly. Let's start with data, and what would your advice be there, and then we'll broaden it out a little bit.